weeks will really tell the story.
Here's Rourke, got it from Wojcinski, who got it from Bartel, goes looking for Ottens in the grasp, got a hand pass away. Symes fell over, battles on manfully though. It's locked in there and the ball not coming out, so we'll have a bounce. 50 plays 110 under 5 minutes.
One of the things I've noticed about Geelong's players, they use each other, but they're not afraid. If there's a little bit of pressure on a player, they don't mind because they're so strong in the body, and their ability to withstand pressure from the opposition is fantastic. They just back themselves every time.
Oops. Stokes going at 3 for the term, 4 for the game.
That was fantastic play then, Dennis, by Varco too, just to apply the pressure. His closing speed then was just exhilarating. Put pressure on the Adelaide player before he even knew what was happening. The ball was out of his hands.
And so Stevens at half back. Wojcinski not quite. Edwards' handball lying on the ground. Bassett pushes it back to Knights. And then Knights to Stevens, and Stevens' handball, well done by Bassett. To Massey, to Edwards, just him. Knights worked off it by Silver, but he did well. And then Douglas got it from Goodwin, and then Douglas running in. Has it got the carry, or did John Cock kick it through? To go.
Tim was talking about the kickouts from the Crows and how difficult it has been for them to get it over halfway. Well, that probably took about 20 possessions, stuffing around with the ball and moving it here, there and everywhere. Half of the reason was because of the Cats' pressure. The other half is their ineffectiveness by disposal. But on this occasion, Douglas gets the goal.
Roo, have you got a reason why Adelaide have struggled so much tonight to kick the ball in from their point kickings?
No, it's very unusual. John Cock's very good at bringing the ball in generally, but I think just the zone that Geelong are putting on is too good.
Selwood goes after the football after the bounce. He pulled it back in but flicked it out to accommodate Ablett, who concedes some ground. Goes back to Mackey, short to Bartel. Now Scarlett. Ablett. Corey. The names that I'm sure haunt coaches around the competition. Bartel. Short one inside the forward 50. Mackey unchecked. Runs towards goal. And gets it.
There's one thing that I like to do with the possessions is to see how many players in each side have had less than 10 possessions. I think generally it's an indicator of the dominance of a side. Geelong have had 11 players that have had more than 20 touches. So they've had an absolute mountain of possession, 450 possessions in total, and they've used them all very well.
He's a great running halfback, isn't he, Mackey? Been a long trip from Geelong, but well worth it. So they're back to that 10-goal game again. Ottens and Marriage. Selwood on to Marriage. Here's a ridiculous one. 2 years ago, round 1306, Geelong got beaten by 92 points by Adelaide here. 16 of the Cats that are playing tonight played in that game, and 14 of the Crows. Lots happened in 2 years. Here's Johnson. Oh. Inside looking for Mooney, and then Mooney, well, we'll give that as an assist to Varco, and then Varco, brilliant. Well, Steve Johnson like, wasn't it? To Jono himself, and then Johnson on the left. It wobbled down to Corey, who puts it through again. It's a beautiful champagne tonight. It's bubbling.
Well, they are Harley's Globetrotters, and that was exquisite, the way that these kicks hit their target. That gather by Varco was fantastic in itself, but the way that he screwed it around to Johnson, and look, this was a bit of a miss kick. It wobbled off the boot. It was a floater, but that's exactly where he intended it to go, to Joel Corey. And Look, you haven't been bored with this game because of the exhibition that they've been able to produce, Geelong.
Joel Corey got his second goal, and you would assume in a grand final Steve Johnson goes back and takes a shot, but still makes it more exciting as we watch the dying minutes of this one. 123-56. Probably still doesn't tell the true story. Demolition of the Crows tonight. Vince out of the middle against the odds, kicks it down towards half forward. Wojcinski coming strongly, controlled it to his own advantage, slips it away. Selwood again. Johnson a little too casual, and the ball's out of bounds.
He's unlucky. Wojcinski was the guy running past. He's the quickest bloke out there.
He went too quick, didn't he?
I think he was allowing for fatigue, but the fatigue factor hadn't kicked in.
I think he was allowing for Ling. That's what he's allowing for.
He programmed it in, Dennis. There's been some problems with programming all night.
There has. Speaking. Marriage.
Is that clock going up or down right now?
That's what started it, wasn't it?
I hope it's going down.
That's where it all began. Electronically, it's been a strange night. One down by Knights. Selwood takes it across the boundary now. Selwood, I keep talking about him, but previous best 37 tonight. I'm sure his parents, Bryce and Marie, enjoyed the break. Obviously their son did. He's back in fine fettle tonight. Play on. Probably had RSI from the remotes following their children around the competition. Symes, Doughty. I think it was Elvis who had 7 TVs in the jungle room at Graceland. Well, I reckon the Selwood some weekends would be up there. There's Rutten down towards half forward. Poor Pleasure, the big leap. Chapman falling to the ground. Enright's got the football.
Dennis, can I suggest the way you're going tonight, that stat wouldn't be right, the 7?
He had them all on too, Bruce. I've been to the jungle room. I've seen those tellies. But I think you're right. I think it was 5. The ball off hands. Bassett tracks back. Well, I think Bassett went off to guard the goal. Johnson takes a shot. Bassett knew what he was doing. He got back and touched it across the line.
We've got a new world record in the history of humans too, Dan.
What have we got?
Most possessions recorded.
I'm glad you said that, not me.
That's a fact.
It's a fact, Jack.
So the Cats, the most recorded ever by a team, is it tonight?
No, total.
Total.
By 2 teams together. 841 at the moment.
So Adelaide have had a record-breaking night.
They have. They've been involved in it.
That's right.
So Knights out wide. There's going to be a big shadow over the club through the week. There's going to be a lot of questions asked. And for Geelong, well, they've just made another statement, haven't they, here tonight? I feel like that gap's widening a bit. Everything that the Doggies have done, and Hawthorn, who've had a stumble or two of late, but I feel like Geelong's putting 4 or 5 goals on the competition again over the last
Forget about that Collingwood performance now, though. And that's still possible at any stage.
I guess if you watch that match in isolation, you think Geelong were pretty ordinary, but they were brilliant tonight. Right from the go. Beat the Crows by 10 goals at AAMI, you've got to be pretty darn good. Doesn't happen often. Did tonight.